Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching. Welcome to the Miles Grant Show. Hope you're well. Joined today by the one and only, the myth, the man, the legend, Mr. Gordon Burcham. How are you, bro?
I am absolutely phenomenal. Amazing. Great. We've had some tech issues, but we're all in. We're wiping
behind the curtain. I'm on my mobile because we were having all sorts of issues a minute ago. But I feel like my Sadhguru shit is kicking in because it was just like, it was a challenge, but it was like, I felt Sadhguru was just there like, this is just part of life. Life will throw you challenges. Life only throws you what you can. That would be racist, but I'm married to an Indian, so I'm allowed to get away with it. But we're here, we're on. So without further ado, I've got loads of stuff that I want to talk to you about. The audience that are watching, I know predominantly are going to be coaches, soon to be coaches, life coaches, trainers, consultants, and people like that. And I know because I told them who you were and what you're about, that they're going to want to hear business stuff. But I actually believe that there's more important stuff to talk about that I think leads into some of the things that have created what you've been able to create. So for full transparency, I went on Gordon's Facebook earlier, and this is what I always do when I do an interview, and I do a little bit of a Facebook stalk to create the content for an interview. Oh, that'd be interesting to talk about. Oh, and that. So I've got about 7 or 8 things that I want to talk about that I think will be really, really useful, because the title of the show is How to Live Life Happy, and in brackets, in bold capitals, every day, because I think that is common sense, but it ain't common practice. And that's what I want to talk about. So I want to start by talking about one of the things that I saw on one of your Facebook feeds. I scrolled back about a week. There was some good stuff in there.
Appreciate that.
One of them, you said, you put a post saying, happiness is a daily practice. It's a habit, and we have to work on being happy. Life, if we're not careful, can drag us down because our minds can make it so. So if happiness is a daily practice, what are some of your fundamental ingredients that go into you making it so that it's a daily practice?
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, thanks for having me on the show. Really, really appreciate being on here. Yeah, happiness is like it's as important as oxygen, right? Because there's so many people on this planet that are, if you watch them, they're the walking dead. And I've been on a mission over the last few years, especially of learning the art of happiness. And we're all on our own journey. And one of the things I learned on this, 44 years of being on this planet is, especially of, growing up being bullied, growing up being, in a lot of conflict and not loving myself and liking my name, is very simply how important self-love is. If you love who you are, if you love every ounce of being that you are, if you look in the mirror and love that reflection, you're going to smile big. And so ultimately it always starts with self-love. Like, you've got to love yourself unconditionally. You've got to love yourself. You've got to love every single bit about yourself. And this is one of the biggest learnings I had over the first 35 years of my life, not loving who I was, not loving the reflection, not loving the person that I was, trying to be somebody else. And I believe that I wasn't very happy. It's very often I just felt, oh, what's the point? What's the point of being here? And one of the biggest transformations with me was, I won a world title in 2012. And I started, that was the day I was kind of born into this world. And it was an amazing experience for me because I could truly start to love and respect myself unconditionally, because I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought that I had to be somebody else. I thought that there was, I was very, very different, and that was a problem. But what I realized was my uniqueness is my gift. What I realized was I am bloody good enough. I am great at what I do. And actually, I'm so bloody proud to be the person that I am. And that's where happiness lies, is that love for self. So I always start with, like being my biggest fan, not my worst critic. I was my worst critic for 35 years. Very often we're world champions at knocking ourselves down. So for me, self-love, like pure love for self is important. And we're taught not to love ourselves very often, like you're a big head and you're not, et cetera, et cetera. But it starts. So happiness is a daily practice of self-love. It's a daily practice of doing the things that you love as well, right? So I created a module called Changes, which is called choices, like the choices that you make. Okay, so every day we have a choice. So happiness is all about a choice, the choices that we're making every single day. Happiness is a daily ritual, okay? Doing the things that make you happy, doing things that make you smile, getting rid of all the things that make you sad. And many people, they challenge me on this, but I'm like, okay, so you live in this planet right now, the gift of life. Why would you be doing anything that doesn't make you smile? How insane is that, right? So happiness is, you know, doing things that make you smile, bigger, etc. But also being happy on the journey. Be happy what you've got while in pursuit of what you want. The journey of life, understanding that journey is happiness is a journey, not a destination. Understanding that, you know, many people live in a world where, you know, I'll be happy when I get this. I'm happy when I've got a new wife. And I'll be happy when I've got a new car. I'll be happy when I become a millionaire. But what they realize is a destination becomes the present very quickly. It becomes the present. It becomes a reality. If you're not happy right now, you'll never be happy. It's like, I'm going to be happy on the journey. So practicing that, being happy with the simple things. So, and part of that process, that was the H, and the A is about affection and love, like actually loving yourself and loving the people around you, loving the human being, actually really using your heart, like just because, like just to really, really give that out to the world and give it to yourself every single day. The N is for never judging, removing judgment from your life, removing judgment of other people, who they are, respecting their model of the world, and then respecting yourself as you look in that mirror. Don't judge yourself and want to be somebody else. Don't judge yourself, love yourself, because that is so important. So removing the judgment. The G is for the importance of gratitude, being grateful for living, breathing, being here. Very often I get up in the mornings, every morning, and I'm just so grateful to be alive again. Like every single day, Miles, I wake up with such a zest for life. I'm like, wow, I love to, I'll go for a run every morning. And when I run with my arms out this way, and I'm absorbing the earth, and I'm absorbing the clouds and the rain and the sunshine. I'm so grateful that I'm present in this moment.
Yeah.
Gratitude, being grateful for what I've got. And then the E is for the energy that's in your soul. So creating the energy. You know, it's the Tony Robbins thing, right? Going, moving your body all the time. Like every time you feel flat, like I know what makes me happy, the endorphins, the natural drug of life, like really pumping that spirit every single day, really getting my body going, eating the right foods. And then the S is for self-development, is to learning and growing and absorbing the good stuff of, you know, the audios and the podcasts and everything, like to really nourish the soul. You ain't going to stop smiling when you live in that world. The choices, the happiness, and all this stuff. So it's like I created that, and it's something that I live by every single day. And how to create, it's called changes. It's how to create change in your life every single day to be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. And I always believe this: like happiness, you're always happy if you're growing and evolving and becoming and living right now in the gift of life that's the present. And I try to do that every single day. That's where I live.
Beautiful. Amazing. So many good things in there. One of them I feel gives us a natural transition into is judgment. I saw a post that you put about it said, when you're judging others, we're only doing it to make ourselves feel better. Removing judgment of others or self should be mastered. What's so important to you about that and being aware of, because you know I'm the hold my hands up and say there are times where I will make a judgment, but the period of which I stay in judgment is a lot shorter than it used to be. So I'll judge someone because, you know, neurolinguistic programming, we all have filters. So I filter and make a judgment, but I call it a filter now, which straight away reduces the negative polarity of feeling bad about myself. I've gone, I've filtered someone. I've run someone through my filter there, and I've been aware of it. And then I've made a decision. Do I want to keep that filter on, or is there actually a more useful filter? And with myself as well. So we all universally, I think intellectually, everybody knows that judging others and judging self is a bad thing. We all, I say we all, but society generally is running judgments through, you know, vaccine, no vaccine, good politician, bad politician. It's all judgments, right? It's all filtering. So talk to me about judgments. Like how do we stop judging? How do we judge less? How do we do that?
Replace it with love.
Yeah.
And if you replace it, see, judgment is very often, and replace it with self. If you are love and happiness, so as soon as you love yourself, you'll love other people, right? And the more you love yourself, the more you will love other people, because you'll love that feeling, right? It's very, very simple. And very often we're judging to make ourselves feel better. But if you're in love with yourself, if you feel love, if you feel happy, you guys, I don't know anyone who's feeling really happy and full of love that doesn't judge another person. They just want to go and hug that person, right? They just want to go and they just want to give that, and they're into that person. And I think this is why it always starts with love. Everything starts with love. It starts with self-love, loving yourself so you can love others. And the judgment, and this is where, I used to be very judgmental of other people, blaming other people, looking at people. And we're all guilty to a point where I catch myself saying, whoa, live with love, man. Like, live with love first. Judgment is just, you're just trying to make yourself feel better. Like, whoa. I tell you what, go for a run and make yourself feel better. Read a book and make yourself feel better. Like, start work harder on yourself, not putting other people down, because guess what? They're doing the best they can with the resources they have. They are absolute, and we should celebrate people's uniqueness, celebrate who they are. And it's a daily practice. We are taught in society to judge, like very much so. It's around us all the time. So for me, it's being very self-aware why we do what we do, and actually just replace it with love, empathy, being really empathetic, respecting people's model of the world, their faiths, what they believe, their values of life. And if the world lived in a more non-judgment world, if we all decided to respect people's model of the world and actually listen to people instead of wanting to throw our judgment and throw our ideas on the people and listen, you'll realize there's so much more beauty in the world. If we can just remove that, because together we're so much stronger. Humanity is so much stronger when we can take on other people's ideas. We can listen. We can appreciate it. We can, give them some love, give them some feedback, but don't judge them for who they are, and allow the drama to unfold of life rather than this judgment and pointing the fingers. The world would be such a more beautiful place, but it starts from the heart. Very often people judge and put people down because they're feeling lost inside their soul. Start with you first. Change you. Everything around you changes.
What is that saying about when I'm pointing a finger at you, I'm pointing 3 back at me, right?
Always pointing finger back at you. And the greatest thing I learned in life was it's all down to you, brother. Like you are the creator. Wow. Just listen to that for a minute. You are the creator of the good, the bad, the ugly in your life. You create the sunshine. You create the sunny days in your life. Yeah, the dark times. You create the abundance. You create the wealth, the poverty. You create, and very often, very, very often, like many people, it's easy to point the finger because it's easy to throw it away. But as soon as you point the finger, as soon as you throw it away, as soon as you're looking externally, you remove your power. Your power is in your soul. The answers lie within. And if you can start to accept full responsibility for everything that's happened and will happen in your life, you can then go forward and go and create the life that you truly deserve, because you have got the power. You are the creator. It was the most powerful thing I've ever learned in my life was, actually, look, I created this. I created the drama. I created the sunshine. I created everything in my life. And once we get that, once we understand that, we can say, I can be happy every single day because I'm the creator of that.
Yes.
I can choose to be sad or choose to be happy. I'm the creator. I can also choose to be judgmental. I created the judgment, or I decide to love my fellow man, to respect their model of the world, and just live with love.
You just reminded me of a story in Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where and maybe you know this story, where he's on a train and he's sat at a 4-person table. For those of you that have not heard this story, a great book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And he's sat at a train, 4 table. There's him, he's on his laptop working. There's a dad, there's 2 kids, 2 young boys who are being, in train world, a little bit unruly, climbing on the table. They've knocked a glass of water over. Stephen stayed patient. Eventually, he's kind of gone to the dad, do you mind if you get your kids to just kind of sit down, sit still? I'm trying to work. My laptop's almost got wet. I don't mean to be rude, but, could you get them to settle down? And the dad says, I'm really sorry. Usually they're really good and they're really disciplined. Today I've just said to them, just play, just be. We're just on our way back from their mother's funeral, and it's been a tough morning. And obviously Stephen feels horrified that he's judged this situation so wrong.
That's a great example, right?
Yeah. And me and my wife, we constantly, whenever we come across someone that we as a collective watching this in this broadcast would say are acting in a way that effectively we're like, dick, like they've done something that we would say that's not how we would want to act. That's not how we go, something has happened in their life today. We wonder what it is. Instead of being judgmental, we become curious.
Beautiful.
Just up or looks at us a funny way, or it seems to be rude. We go, we amplify it and go, their mum's got cancer, or their dad's died yesterday, or something that, I know that may sound a bit extreme to people watching, but the amount of empathy that comes from us going, what's the worst thing that could have happened in their life today to make them behave that way? And instantly we go from judgment to empathy.
Yeah, love that. It is so important, right? And it's only our ego. Like, who's to say we said the right and wrong is? The judgment is, like, for instance, someone's wearing the clothes that we go, oh, look at what they're wearing there, but they may love them clothes. Yeah. Like, look, it's our ego. It's like, who's right or wrong? Guess what? The beauty is we're all right. Every single one of us is right on this planet. That's the beauty of it. We're all right in our own world, and that's
exactly. And with that, I am going to put my female lingerie back on as soon as we finish tonight's broadcast.
Yes, brother.
Speaking of what felt like we were transitioning into, kind of owning your skin, owning yourself, there was a picture of you, which I think I used for today's broadcast, with a T-shirt saying, be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Again, like some of the things we're talking about today, I think it's one of those things that's, for some people, not people like you, but some people, that's easier said than done. How does one go about, if they feel like they're totally the other end of that, how do they go about being true to yourself?
Yeah, I mean, that T-shirt's an amazing T-shirt. I remember seeing it. I think that is an amazing T-shirt, and it's so true, right? Being true, being honest, being real, being like, because we live in a fake world, right? This social media, and this all comes from this world of, look, and I, in reference to my daughter who's 16, we have to teach her massively. Social media, for instance, is not real, right? But most people on social media are not real. They're showing the best side of themselves only. They're not showing the raw side, because what they're doing is they're faking, and they're not being who they are. And it's like, and very often it's to do with wanting to be perfect, wanting to be right. And what I learned is, and what part of this whole process here for me, I've gone through, right, is I wanted to be right for other people. Then I wasn't being true to myself. It's like, actually, I'm going to be exactly right. If anyone follows me on social media, if you come, what you see here is what you get in the office. Like, what you see is raw and real. The reality is, when you're true to yourself, when you are just being you, that is where you'll be happy. There, right there, not trying to be someone, not trying to portray, not putting the veneer of perfection out there. This is who I am, like it or lump it. I don't give a shit. This is me. And some people will, of course, judge you for that. You know what? What other people say about you is none of your business. What you say about you, the most important story, is the one you tell yourself every single day. Can you look in the mirror with honesty and love? Can you say, actually, this is me right now? I coach a lot of people around this. I was doing one today, and I was saying, like, as soon as you can let go of the drama, literally open up and just be true to who you really are, and not care what other people think and how they judge you and what they say, etc. When you're completely true to yourself, I promise you, you'll be in the most free world you've ever been in. And I think social media has a lot to answer. It's not social media, it's how people use social media. If you look at the way people portray themselves, the perfection, the veneer of perfection all the time, it's like, wow, where's the other bit? So for me, I'm always open, honest, real, out there. And because that's who I am. Yeah. And if you can be true to yourself, if you can live that every day, that's where you'll smile bigger, because you're like, yeah, this is me right now. This is me. This is the person that I was born to be, not the person down the road, the guru that you read, that you look up to. Yeah. The coach that I want to be. So many coaches, I want to be like that coach. No, how about you want to be exactly who you are? Imagine that. When that authenticity of self, your uniqueness is your gift. And as soon as you are authentic and you say what you think, and you are from the heart, not what you feel will be responded to. Like I'm speaking now, I know this is going to be received, but this is just me. And if you can say it from the heart and you can say exactly what you're thinking and then you're feeling, people connect with that. They go, yes, some people like it, some people don't. So what? But the more you can be you, the more you will respect yourself and love yourself. And that's what I believe.
Yeah, I love that. Great interview. I saw Michael Jordan recently talking about how, he said at the height of his career, everyone in the league was competing, trying to be better than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was just trying to be better Michael Jordan from 12 months ago.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, and that was a big thing for me, because when I heard that, I went, well, then all I've ever got to do is beat Miles from a year ago.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that if people live like that, it liberates them from thinking that they've got to jump from lane 5 to lane 7 to lane 1. No, you're in lane 5, just run lane 5. I've got friends that run in athletics, professional athletics, and some of them will come 6th in a race, but because they do a personal best, they're elated because they can't run any faster than that. That's the fastest they've ever run.
Yep.
They can't run any. That's the fastest they've ever ran, which means they win. They might not win in the world of everybody else, but that's irrelevant. They win because there's always, as Nick James always said, there's always someone is going to be ahead of you in some area. So it's all about you versus you. Beat your personal best,
Yeah. Every time you look in a mirror, that's the competition right there. And there it is. You just want to be a better version of yourself. Work harder on yourself than anything else. Can I be a better father, a better mother? Can I be a better partner today? Can I be a better human? How can I just be better? Even a 0.1% today, man, I'm winning in life. That's about not Joanne down the road who's got a better ass than me. It's like, wow, have they got a better ass? Have they got? Is that just their ass? I know this sounds crazy, but we're looking at other people, and no, you are your level. Just be better every single day.
And that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because what we're talking about there is people's perfections rather than their imperfections. So if I see you on social media and I'm in that state of spiral of comparison, I'm only looking at Gordon's perfections or perceived perfections, because perfection is just a myth. I'm looking at my perceived perfection of you and comparing it to my imperfection, which means I can't psychologically win anyway.
No, absolutely not.
Imperfection of my flaw to what I perceive to be as your, whatever the opposite of the word flaw is.
Your perfection, yeah, whatever it is, perfectness, right? But you're right to say that. It's like it's massive in this world.
Yeah.
Teenage suicide, the highest it's ever been in history. The reason being is because it's all about how I look. Let me get the filters on. Remove the filters. I do this a lot with young kids now. I get them to just strip it back. You don't need to be anybody but yourself. Be everything that you are and more.
Yeah.
Not everyone that you think, not the person down the road. We don't need clones. We need the uniqueness of self. We need us to be who we are, raw, real, open, and honest. And that's where self-love comes in. That's why I always start with that heart, because you are so fucking incredible. You are so amazing. You make the world tick. You make the heart of the world beat. You are part of this. But if we were all the same, it would be a boring world. Celebrate your uniqueness every single day, everything. And one of the things I wanted to share here, which is really important, the love, you've got to look at everything and you've got to own that love so much. I love it, by the way, that I lose my keys every day. I love it that I nearly burn the house down because I leave the fire on. I love it that people just have to, my team, they catch up with me. I'm like Hansel and Gretel, right? I leave everything everywhere. It's chaos. But I used to want to change that. I used to think that I needed to be a certain way to be in business, right? Yeah. I was told so many times that you can't fucking swear on a podcast. You can't do that. Your grammar, you got to get your perfection. He goes I don't give a shit. This is who I am, like or but I'm going to be me. And you know what? I'm happy every day being who I am, not someone that I perceive I should be. And that's just something I wanted to share there.
Beautiful. You know what? That leads me into a post that you put called the "fuck you" metaphor. What does that mean? I know what it means.
Yeah.
Who is watching? What is
Yeah.
the "fuck you" metaphor?
Yeah. It's a frame, right? So the metaphor is like many people are so focused on what other people think. You know, I used to literally be zoned out if someone sent me a text message that I perceived was a way that they didn't love me or like me anymore. All my life, it would literally for a week, I would go into a brain freeze because I was so focused on what other people thought of me. And honestly, it consumed my life. Without Miles, it consumed my life for so many years because i.e., I wanted to be liked and loved because when I was younger, I was bullied massively. I was around lots of conflict and I was a victim and I lost that love of self. So what other people thought of me was of massive importance. But what I've realized in life, as I've gone through this process, is like, do you know what? It is like, of course, we've all got a heart and we all want to be liked in some way, of course. But what I realized is if the "fuck you" metaphor is, if people are judging you every single day, we know that if we could remove it, it'd be amazing. You're being judged, you're being talked about, etc., etc., etc. And I was teaching my daughter this the other day. I said, you got to walk through life with the "fuck you" metaphor, with a smile on your face, like, yeah, baby, I'm here. And people could call that arrogance. I'm like, do you know what? You know what I think? Like they'd say, oh, that's not a great thing. Not a great thing is when someone gets the razor blades out. When someone is that they are that consumed in what other people think that now they believe other people's bullshit. It's like, you gotta own yourself. And you know what? When you can go, yeah, this is me right now, like it or love it. This is me. Say what you want, and it creates a barrier around this imaginary force field. And I said, you don't walk like that, but metaphorically you're walking through. And my daughter was sort of being bullied and stuff. I said, you walk through the school doors. As you walk through, you open the doors like this in your head, and you just smile. And it says, yeah, I'm me, own it. And that was the metaphor around it. The ability to create that force field around you, own who you are. Don't listen to and own other people's bullshit. That's what the "fuck you" metaphor is all about. It's protection. Yeah. Because you can do that or listen to them, and you know what? It works really well for me. I literally walk around with a smile on my face. But if I walk into somewhere and, I feel there's an energy, it's the "fuck you" metaphor. Like this, It works every time.
There's two things that sprung to mind there. Two people I'm going to shout out that I think amplifies the point you just made. One is, I heard Rob Moore say at Nick's event recently about haters, which I think is relevant for the "fuck you" metaphor as a shield. It's almost fuck you to who? And, I heard Rob say, I do care what people think, just the right people. So, wife, kids, if they regularly start saying, Rob, you're being a dick. He's like, maybe I am. And that's good. But if someone just rants on social media on a post.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, Miles? If you think, and the reason I'm so pleased you brought this up, because when you're living in a social media online world, man, you better get ready. I don't care where you're at. The higher you go, the more come out and want to knock you down. This is life. The bigger you get, the more they will lock you down. I've written a couple of books. Man, I was trolled massive. I wrote a book which is actually called Live Life Happy. When my dad died, and people knew this, I flew to the south of France to write a book all about just to heal myself in respect to my dad. It was written in his name, with his name all written over it. Live Life Happy, about the importance of regret in life and how to live it to the fullest every single day. I wrote that book, and people who followed me on social media, they were with me on the journey of writing that book. They followed the whole journey for that 30 days when I wrote the book. And everyone knew, and people knew this. So there was people on my social media channel that we know must have been following that, because they knew they were trolling me on Amazon, putting 1-star reviews and saying loads of bad things, right? Because that's the way of the world. Because it's like, well, the more success you get, that when you're doing something again, people have to pull you back down to justify their existence in life. because so remember, when anyone is pulling you down, when anyone is saying something about you, it's designed so that they feel better, because they go, well, if they can go there, I'm not doing that. Let me pull them down so I don't have to do the work to get there. I'd have to question myself.
Absolutely.
You know, so the fuck you metaphor is to go in and realize that you're always being judged every single day. If you walk around and just own who you are with that, it'll make you have a much brighter day.
Amazing. I feel like that's the end. It feels like we could keep spinning, but I feel like that is a beautiful, natural conclusion. I feel like we're going to do 2 parts for this. I feel like today we've talked about some things that are like super important. You know, I saw suicide rates last week, 800,000 people a year committing suicide. Now, those people that are watching, my hope is that that's not something that has been in your realm of thought, or you've had anyone close to you that's had that. But, you know, I believe that the challenge with that statistic is further back upstream would have been a small problem that compounded itself into a bigger issue. And so I kind of want to make a real point at the end of this broadcast to say, you know, anyone that's watching that's got any issue, challenge, problem, something that they're keeping inside themselves, if anything tonight has resonated and you feel like compelled to reach out to me or Gordon, please DM us, message and say, yeah, I think I need to chat to someone. Are you available? Or because, you know, I just feel like I need to put a disclaimer on everything now when I hear statistics like that. Any last words, brother?
The title is How to Live Life Happy. And, you know, I hope and pray that, you know, not to leave this world with regret. We have a small space of time to enjoy and experience the beauty of life. And many people, they leave this planet. When my dad died, I want to share this because this was the biggest thing that he gave me. When he passed away, and he was my hero. And one of the gifts he gave me was, it was such a massive energy that as I see him lying there and he's gone, to see him there is so emotional. But he gave me an amazing gift, and it was around regret. And it's around living your life to the fullest, son. It was an energy that came from his soul. I was like, you know what? I know my dad would have left the world with some regret. There was things I know my dad wanted to do and he never got to do. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to go on a mission here right now. And that's why I wrote Live Life Happy. It's like, I'm going to go on a mission to every single day, live it to the highest level of self I can, to experience life to its fullest right now, to live each day as if it was my last, to live to take every breath as if it was my last, to love like it's the last day I am here, to experience life to its fullest. And I went on a mission over the last couple of years now to do that and hopefully to pass that message on. We don't know when it's our last day. Today might be it. Tomorrow might, doesn't it? So while we're here right now, love your family unconditionally. Like, go out there and hug them, love the people around you, phone a friend, speak to them, embrace this world. Be grateful for the breath that you take. Be grateful that you're here right now, listening right in this moment. Be grateful when you wake up in the morning, you're here, and celebrate life. Life is the greatest gift. We only get one chance of this. And all I would say to you is just take it, like literally just take it and run with it and enjoy every single second with the biggest smile on your face, sharing that laughter, that love and that happiness with the world.
Mr. Gordon Burcham. Amazing. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Great to have you here today. How should people stay in touch with you if that is their intention? What's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Facebook. Facebook's one of my big platforms. Instagram, I'm getting used to Instagram right now. Facebook was my thing, but yeah, I am on Instagram. Yeah, I'm getting there a little bit, but just reach out. Like, I will send you voice note if you are, you know, if you're challenged. Any. I just love human beings. Like, I just love helping and serving people. That's what I'm born to do. That's what I'm here for. just genuine love. So reach out. I'm around. And have a chat. Oh, and by the way, any of your listeners, if you want a copy of my book, I'm going to send a free copy to you. You got to message Miles Grant, message him and say, I would like a copy, whatever. Live Life Happy. I will send you, give you details, and we'll send you a free copy of my book, Live Life Happy, to help you live happier and healthier life.
There you go. That wasn't planned. There you go. The gift that keeps on giving, Mr. Gordon Burcham. Great to have you here, brother.
Thank you, mate.
Bless you. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.